Financial investigation. The court and status parties can make process by establishing and improving communication channels and channels for operational coordination, organizing regular bilateral contacts between the court and status parties, including with national experts, using and expanding existing network and signing agreement for access to relevant databases and information systems. Status parties can also contribute by raising awareness, fostering proactivity among domestic authorities and officials, and conducting domestic investigation when necessary. The court through its different organs and in the framework of their respective mandats, conduct financial investigation involving the identification, tracing, and freezing or seizure of asset or asset recovery. While the International Criminal Court (ICC) or court does not have jurisdiction over financial crimes as such, for the example as money laundering or corruption. Clear link exists between the mandate of the court and the effort of the international community to combat these crimes. For example, a number of crimes within the jurisdiction of the court may be financed and thus enabled by the process and asset emerging to range of other crimes. As a result, the tracing, freezing, seizure, and recovery asset of stolen asset or asset otherwise linked to the commission of the international criminal crimes or person accused of them are the subject of increasing attention not only by the court but also the international community at large. Not only are financial investigation and asset recovery crucial to the investigation and effective prosecution of crimes under ICC jurisdiction, financial investigation also play a vital role, making any finance forfeitures or reparation order for victim meaningful, as well as ensuring the proper management of legal aid. In order to ensure the financial investigation and asset recovery lead meaningful result, static cooperation is paramount, as all of the relevant information lies mostly within domestic jurisdiction, and for instance, the increasing number sophisticated jurisdiction tools which any individual may use to dispute ownership of asset make tracking financial flow very difficult. Banking secrecy legislation, shell companies, and strawman are but a few examples as subtle also. Financial investigations are almost invariable cross-border, in nature, and thus require a high degree of international cooperation. The court seeks to achieve for objective when conducting financial investigation in chronological order. Recently, financial investigation may provide significant and valuable information pertaining to cases before court. This information can serve as evidence and potentially contribute to demonstrating the elements of a crime or determining an individual's crime responsibility. Secondly, financial investigation contributes to the responsible management of the fund provided to to the court by the status parties as they ensure that there is no undue payment of legal aid to the defense team. Thirdly, it is crucial for accountability and to ensure that crime does not pay in the event that our person is sentenced to the payment of fines and order forfeitures of proceeds, property, and asset derived directly or indirectly from the crime. Finally, pursuant to the Rome Statute, the court may order reparation to victim for which the conviction person is personally liable. Securing an acquisite asset may be crucial for meaningful award of reparation for victim. Pursuant to Article 86 of the statute, state parties are legally required to cooperation full with the court, including, as necessary, drug adjustment to their domestic legal and institutional framework as required under Article 88 of the statute. And I remember that as court does not police, foresee, or power to conduct financial investigation in other jurisdiction. It is practically fully dependent on the corporation of status. A coordination approach, strategy thinking, and consistent high-quality cooperation in the area of financial investigation will contribute to the court's ability to effectively fulfill its mandate, in particular for the ultimate benefit of the victims. The challenge encountered by both status and the court are numerous: locating asset, linking asset to the suspect and accused, implementing legislation and interstate coordination. However, adopting the necessary implementing legislation and procedural mechanism under Article 88 has potential to contribute significantly to achieving the desired result. And additionally, when relevant domestic legislation is in place and allow for execution of the request, the authority given tend to be strictly limited to the specific request. The main objective of a financial investigation is to determine the status of a suspect or accused when assets are located in different jurisdictions. International cooperation is crucial in order for the financial investigation to have full factor. At the domestic level, this is done via mutual legal assistance. However, when the case emanates from the court, an extra layer of difficulty investigation against the suspect or accused, a state will not have the legal basis to send a request for mutual legal assistance to another state. This means the most states that receive a request from the court will only have a partial view of the status of the suspect or accused. The court may have a full factor, but its resources are insufficient to analyze all the information it receives. A closer cooperation between the state whose existence has been requested by the court could be the way forward. I thank you.